Hey, Don here. Okay, well, I'm gonna do like a little bit of an unboxing and test, first run video here. What I got here is a, let me look at my stream. I'll make sure it's all good. Okay, I bought a power strip called JACKYLED. I did a bunch of comparison and research on them last week or other day or whenever. And it's supposed to automatically sense what you know. It's got 110 volt AC outlets, and then let's see, where does it show the? It has USB charging as well, and it's supposed to automatically sense the device you plug in, and that was the one I got, the 2499 model. It's supposed to automatically sense it and give it the right amount of amperage so that you don't blow out some of your sensitive devices. A lot of them I noticed were just like set 1 amp, 2 amps, or 2.1 amps or whatever. And a lot of them, they had a total output of 2.1 amps, and they were having them burn up their components inside. And I like triple light power strips. Trip light, not triple light. I always called them triple light. And they had one, but it was actually the first time I've ever seen any, problems with anything, any of their stuff. Was a bunch of bad, they had good overall reviews, but they had some that were going out. And if something's going to burn up, I ain't buying it. I don't care if it does have 4.5 stars overall, Of course, this one has, let's see, let's look at the specs first. 10 outlets, 4 USB, so I guess that's 10 altogether. It's supposed to be a 300 watt, and it says voltage 250 volts. I think it says something in here about it working with 250 and 110 volts, but this is a 110 model. But anyway, I suppose if you supplied it 250 volts, it wouldn't blow it out, is what it's supposed to handle. 13 amps, that's not too bad for something like that. And usually something that'll handle 250 volts will handle more amps in general too. So extension, the cord is 6 foot, should be enough for what I need it for. USB plug format, B US with ground plug. I was going to say USB-B because I believe that is what the USBs are. It says that it even tells you the wire cord is 16 gauge. That's not too bad for something like that. And then 4 USB ports. There were a couple little videos on it. And yeah, there's a question there about, can I use it on 220 volts? I think, of course, you're going to have to use an adapter if you have the American, as we call it, the American model, the one for 110 volts. But it had, I always look at that, first thing I look at is, if it says it has 4.5 stars or whatever, what's the percentage of 5-star ratings? And this one's 75%. That's, pretty good overall. So I went and got it. We'll see. It's things, sometimes you don't ever know what you're going to get anymore, so I've got to where I'll just make these videos to document the opening of these things sometimes. And let's see, I guess I will go back to my live stream and then close my browser, so I will give my machine a little less to do while I'm making this live video. Okay, now let's get over here and get to it. Okay, so it has a seal on it. That's kind of what made me think about it. I thought, well, where is it? There it is. There's a seal that hasn't been broken, and I thought, well, if there was a problem with it, can't even tell that, can you? Okay, see, the shining is kind of making it tricky, but if I can figure out where the camera is, maybe I can get it in it. There we go. Just turn it that way. Yeah, there we go. The reflections make it hard, but the seal is there and it hasn't been broken, so nobody's been into it and stole anything out of it or anything, don't imagine. So I mean, it's not, it looked like that's actually not a bad idea. So I'm just going to cut it because it's not, if I did try to peel it up, it would just rip, I'm sure. But and that's the way it came. It didn't come inside of another box. That's maybe that's another good reason to do that. You know, make a video. I mean, sometimes I do that. Most of the time, when you order stuff from anywhere, it comes in in a brown box. But that's not how they ship this one. It has a excuse me, little handle for carrying the box, which I kind of like, actually. Not that I'm really going to be putting it back in there once I get it set up, but I'm coughing, so I'm about to get a little drink here. And the camera that I'm showing right now, I usually always have them plugged in so they don't run down, but I can go a good 10 or 15 minutes on them, maybe longer. Anyway, I'm going to plug it into this as a test of how it works. So, there it is. And you know, this really only, there's a few of these that are designed this way, a few brands. Other ones didn't have as good a review. It's called JACKYLED. It's kind of funny. The Day of the Jackal. I think there used to be a movie back in the 60s or 70s called The Day of the Jackal. Jackal. I forgot what jackal is. Animal. They're an animal that. What's an Amazon card? I guess I guess it goes through them. They sell it. And then there's instructions and stuff that's too small to read. Wonder if we can see it. If I was able to hold it still there. No, I can't hold it still there. Let's go to this other camera and see. I doubt it. There it is. But suppose if you, I don't think I can get it to where it shows up. Try it on the other one more time. It looked like the light was better. Yeah, you still get the reflections and everything. I just can't hold still. I mean, if you got a clear shot, you could freeze it. But, yeah, no matter what I do here on the cameras, I have a endoscope cam where I could do a close-up of it, but I'm not going to do that right now. But, I'll look at it here with my magnifying glass for a minute. It's just telling the features and stuff, and same thing that was on the website. USB rated at 2.1 amps. Length of cable 2 meters, which I guess is about 6 foot. And 13 rate, USB 5 volts. Check the power rated. This is the instructions. Check the power rated. Do not do more than 300 watts total. Don't touch it when it's wet, the socket. Keep it away from children. Do not use under wet conditions. Do not disassemble by yourself. If necessary, please contact the seller for service. Okay, so they didn't figure you needed instructions on how to plug stuff into it, and I don't. Oh, and I saw this in a video. I didn't even notice that in the. I guess I'll leave it more. Well, let's get it up a little higher. These are on. These are switches for each bank. There's. I guess I better unplug it. It turns. And the cord will come out. I'll show you about doing it here. Set it down, I guess. It's kind of far away, but the cord, I guess I might as well pull some cord out right now. I guess you got to help it. Oh, doesn't come out that easy the first time. There we go. I'm going to need all the cord anyway. At least it's not a really stiff cord. It shouldn't be if it's going to try to roll up in there. But, so let's plug it in. I got power strips down here under my desk, so we can see one of them there in the video. Let's see. I'm trying to think of which one I want to plug it into. Okay, now, it's ready to go. I don't guess it has any light. Oh yeah, it does have lights. There you go. Can you see that in the video? Oh, it has lights on the plug. Oh, that's the USBs. Okay, so it tells you whether or not they're hot or not. And of course the 110s, they don't have lights on them. That's pretty handy. I got this for the for my mom to use for her tablet. She got 2 tablets in there, and it keeps in the dining room, living room, and for phones for them to charge up and stuff. But boy, I kind of wouldn't mind having something like this in here in my room too. Don't need it, but it's kind of cool. So let's turn them on again. I'll just turn them all on. But yeah, little red light showing that the USBs are on. There's 4 USBs, yeah. The ones on the, it kind of threw me off. The one in the video I watched was a bigger model. I guess it's one of those more expensive ones with more sockets, but 4 is plenty for, right now they have, if they want to do everything they had at once, they keep in there. They're 2 tablets and a phone, so that would do all of it, plus 1 left over. But there's plenty of, and what I'll especially, it's hard to find a power strip with lots of space, and everything has power bricks, you know, these days. So, now the first thing I want to see if I can do is, I'm going to go ahead and just turn off these ones that I'm not going to use right now. And I'm going to plug this cord, this charging cord into the phone that I'm using right now. Maybe I should have done the other one up there. Yeah, I think I will, because then I can, whoops, yeah, because of that sort of thing right there. So this other one that I'm got aimed at myself, can take it down. I have 3 of these phones. That's how come I can do multi-camera shoots on the Wi-Fi. But so they're identical. So cords, chargers, same amperage, everything, you know. So I can swap them out anytime I want. Okay, so now you could set this on the table or down under your. She'll probably set it underneath her coffee table, you know, end table. Okay, there we go. Now the phones normally show that they're charging, but you can't see that. I can't see that right now because this is my way I got my phone on the tripods is just, that's a giant paper clip. So let's get out of this camera app since I'm not using that one now. Anyway, and it's at 99%. Let's see. I'm trying to think what's the quick way to. Suppose if I turned it off, it would really. Battery. Yeah, let's go into the apps and see. There should be some kind of app that shows. I'll try to put it up a little closer once I find what I'm looking for here. Yeah, all-in-one toolbox. Okay, I think it'll tell you about the battery. I used to have a battery management app it came with a Avast app, Avast the virus app, but it kept it was a pain in the butt. Anyway, it kept turning things off that I didn't want turned off. So get it to where I can see it. I can't really read. I suppose it works while your device is on. Well, it must have, because it went from 99% to 100% right there. So it should charge while your device is on. I mean, normally that's not what we're really probably going to do with it, but with all these rubber bands on here, it's really hard to read this stuff. So let's see about the. Let's go into settings, see if there's anything about battery in there. I just, I really mostly use these for cameras, and I keep them plugged in, and I turn the power power strip on and off each, you know, when I get up, I turn it on, let it charge for a while, and then I turn it off. I also have a laptop plugged in there, so let me turn it on for that too sometimes too. There we go, battery. It just says battery is full. if I can get in there. Yeah, you're not going to be able to even make anything out up there, I don't think. Too many reflections. So anyway, just says battery's 100% full. There's no green line. There might have been one if it was a charging. Of course, if I turn the thing off and go into the, you know, then you'd see the battery charging screen real easy, but it's at 100%, so it's not going to do anything. So yeah, it works. What I really wanted was to, like I got her a new 10-inch tablet for Christmas, and you can go into the battery section and it'll say what it's charging and what's going on, you know. But I didn't bring that in here, so didn't expect to need it. So let me look at the apps again. Can't think. Yeah, I took off that Vast Battery app. I have the Wi-Fi Finder and the antivirus. Let's see. So I would like to be able to just like see in the display what's going on with the battery. I don't know. I don't pay much attention to what's the battery stuff. Let's see. You got half of this, 3/4 of the stuff in here is, you know, ads to get you to install more stuff. So it's all in one toolbox. I'm back in there. But so anyway, I didn't think about trying to show the phone at all. Sorry about that. Okay, so it's charging. And I imagine all the ports work. I don't have a way to really telling, is what I was thinking. Well, yes I do. That's what I thought of in the first place. If I power it off, then it'll tell me what's going on, I think. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so there's the green charging thing. Yeah, and it goes out as soon as you unplug it, like you would expect. See if I can get my knee up against there so I can... Okay, let's try the other one. I want to make sure all the ports work. That's what I'm trying to do. Yep, came on. So that one works. Now I can turn it. And the base kind of stays still. Okay. Oh, I think these are the opposite. Well, that sucks. I guess it's confusing to me anyway. The USBs are opposite. You got to twist your cable the other way. Okay, that one works. Okay, that one works. Okay, good. Now, let's plug this into the little wall wart. So that's the one easy thing. That's one thing, that's a good way to do it, you know, where your cable plugs into your wall wart. So, I think, so, yeah. Oh, and they go sideways. Oh, okay, so I'm going to plug this one in here. It's a little more stiff than I thought it would be. It doesn't. Maybe you have to go one way. These are not, you know, the kind that you can normally only go one way. I hope there's not something. Of all things, you wouldn't ever expect anything to be wrong with the AC connectors. I did see that in some of the other brands. There, it's just a little harder to put in than I realized. It's all right, it won't fall out. I think you could go either way. Now I'm going to turn it on. Turn that circuit on. Did I get it on? There, I didn't get it on. You got to push hard on those buttons. There. It's. I don't think I think it just took a minute for it to show up in the display. So I won't do every one of them. And imagine it's working. Now let's try. Better take that off there. It's a little precarious doing it all one-handed. Now I'll do this one the other way. Point it away from the. Yeah, they're not. There's nothing that feels wrong with it. You just got to give it a little more pressure than I was expecting. Okay, that one's on now. And there it went. It's charging. Okay. I like that you can turn those on and off because you might want to. It's that way you could leave your power strips, your wall warts plugged in, without, and then you don't have to have them on all the time. You know, they use a little bit of current. I don't really worry about that. People make a big deal out of that. But what I worry about is if they go bad and they overheat to the point that they start a fire. That's the one thing that worries me. Of course, it's so hard to, you know, plug and unplug these things all the time. Half of them are under a desk or up on the wall or somewhere that, you know, you really don't make a practice of unplugging them. But if you can just turn them on and off, that's pretty cool. So, so I really like that. 3 switches. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 ACs, and then that's 8. And then these are ACs too, so 9, 10 ACs, and that's more than a normal 6-way. And then you've got, so you do have 10 AC. And then you got 4 USB. So as long as it lasts, I would say that's a pretty cool little deal. Now let me put my, oh, I wanted to get my other, I need to plug this in somewhere. Well, I'll just go ahead and, oh, sorry. Trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I've got my hands full of everything. So let's get this, actually I don't really have to, since that phone is off, there's nothing that says I have to go back and show my face before I'm done. So let me just get this back because I don't want it going out before I'm done with my video. My battery going down. I got a place to plug it in up here, and that's where I usually plug it in when I have it in this area. Kind of have stuff stationed around to where I can do that while I'm making my videos. Because what I thought I'd do is kind of show it up close again. But when you, let's unplug it. So when you want to roll it up, just roll it. I think I'll just roll it up now and then I'll roll it back out one way. Actually, figure out where we want to put it. Now, there's one thing I'm going to have to do. I guess I might show that for a second. Our house was built in the 60s, and they did not have 3-prong wiring. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have a ground. It just has a hot and a neutral. So you have to use adapters to plug anything with a 3-prong into your wall. Ground lift adapter. And I keep them in my little box of cords and stuff. I guess I'll go ahead and set it up here where I can reach it. That's our old hat box from the 60s. I believe I have one in here, if I haven't used them all. Yeah, there's one. There's 2 of them. I got a brand new one and an old one. I guess I will use the brand new one, because it's going to be plugged in behind the couch. It's going to really be hard to, if there was any problem with it, I certainly wouldn't want to have to move the couch again. At least I think it is, unless she decides to put it somewhere else that I don't expect. So let's go ahead and put that on there. Yeah, and I like the ones, it can be helpful. I wanted one with a right angle plug because it's going to be behind the couch, but I believe the couch back is slanted enough that it won't. And this is real flexible too, so I think it'll be fine. It won't be hitting the couch, I don't think. But this here, you can put that the plate cover screw through it, and that'll keep it from falling out so easy. And the other used to, back in the olden days, your plate boxes were all metal, and the screws were all metal, and that could be used as a, well, it's not a real ground. I mean, if the box is not grounded, but if you did ground your box, it'd be a real ground. But anyway, if you like ran a ground wire from your box to somewhere, you know, to the ground. The ground wire goes to ground. So you drive a stake in the ground. I think they're supposed to be 2 to 4 feet or something like that to be a good ground, deep. But steel rod going in the ground, or aluminum, I guess would be all right. I put one in for my TV antenna, and I think I had a piece of aluminum rod I drove in the ground. I thought that'd be better because it won't rust. I mean, it worked just fine, either one. But steel will rust, and maybe you get a bad connection over time. Actually, I think I had a steel rod, and I know I had some aluminum wire that I used, and it just ran it all the way up this side of the house to the antenna. So, and I believe it's saved us a couple of times too already. Well, it's been out there for 30 years or more now, I think. But anyway, keep leaving it down there so low you can't see it. But it's not bad. It's working. As long as it keeps working, you're pretty happy with that. Because see, if you put it under your, you know, like this is my desk here. So if I have it down here, well, let's put it in the floor because that's where we would have it. If you have it down there on the floor, it's still tall enough that, you know, you can plug your wall warts in the top row. Of course, if you want to do your USBs, then you're probably going to have to pick it up, but it's easy to pick up. And if you have a regular old power strip laying down on the floor, then you've got to get down there and fall on your head. Yeah, when you're old, you fall on your head a lot if you don't, when you bend over. So you got to get down there and fall on your head to pick up that thing to plug it in every time. So you're probably going to just not use it. So I think that'll... And like I said, if you wanted to put it on your desk, it'd be really handy that way. Of course, you may not, some people like your mom may not want to, that's how you can't see it, may not want to look at all that stuff up there on their end table or whatever. So I mentioned that. I said, well, you can put it on your, I told her I ordered it. And I said, you can put it up on top of your desk. And see, it would take up less space on your end table. Actually, there's a spot where she has a big ivy sitting on there. And I thought, but you could kind of hide it in the ivy. But then again, I really don't want it over there near the ivy because she's going to be watering that plant. And water and electricity, not a good combination. So if she spills any on it, so I probably will advise her to put it on the other end table, at the other end of the couch, even though that's not the end she likes to sit on all the time, so that she won't accidentally pour water in it. Now, I guess that's it. Oh, did you like that view of my balding head? Okay, so you can't see me. Well, I guess you could if I did this. Hey, there we go. All right, so that's it. It's not going to stay very good. The rubber bands have not been set properly. I have 2 positions I can put them in. So it'll stay for a little while usually. All right, so I'm going to go, and that is my new JACKYLED Tower of Power. All right, bye.